sorry about that.
Here's some toilet paper.
Where'd you find that?
I don't know. There's not much left. Look at that.
Okay, almost there.
Okay, how much further? I think we're in housework. Let's keep going.
Oh, thank goodness you're here.
What's going on? I thought we told you to protect the toilet paper.
I saw a box of Lysol and I went for it. What are you going to do with that?
That's the no-name stuff.
Who cares? Take it.
Let's sell it on Marketplace for 10 times the price after.
Is that used?
We can still sell it.
Are you talking about the toilet paper or the Lysol wipes, Gary?
Wait a minute.
I can't tell which it was.
Wait a minute. I found some. There's a whole package here. It's still sealed.
Those wipes aren't flushable. Hey, wait, I have a bidet at home.
Well, boys, this video's, there's 58 minutes left. I don't know how long you want it.
Welcome to the Bush League Podcast, a show about nothing and everything.
What's up, everybody? This is Resident Daryl from the Loot Bros Podcast, and I want to invite you to our very special 12-hour gaming stream we are hosting to raise money for the March of Dimes. The event will be held April 18th from noon to midnight Eastern Time at twitch.tv/the Loot Bros Podcast, and we would love for all of the support you can give. Even if you can't donate, please join us as we'll be playing video games for 12 hours, completing various dares and challenges, and recording the Loot Bros Podcast live on the stream. We look forward to seeing you there, and again, that is April 18th from noon to midnight Eastern Time, twitch.tv/the Loot Bros Podcast.
I'm assuming you'll edit that tighter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I just wanted.
So
the
there's
nuggets.
our opening.
That's our opening.
Okay. Jeez. I was gonna say at some points it's like I'm trying to get into character and I can just hear Jeremy laughing.
Oh
man.
That's wild. Well done.
Do you want to do the ads right away too, and then all that stuff said in the beginning of your recording, and then?
Well, if we do that, we don't get the great segues.
All right, it's up to you. Sure.
I think we just throw it in as we go.
Okay, very best.
So what do you want to remind us?
Movement Media and Kingsway.
I never read stuff. You guys
We know.
do a lot of talking. I'm sorry.
We know.
Well, we should get Cameron to read one.
Oh, no, you don't want that. I am like the worst person for speaking. Obviously, I can only do
Good thing you do a podcast.
yeah. But that's more, shoot from the hip.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
At least your J job doesn't involve talking a lot.
Absolutely. This is 100% correct. What are you talking about, sir?
Well, boys, I guess we're rolling, are we?
Yeah.
Is that the?
We're rolling. Yeah.
We're rolling, boys.
Yeah. Whew. I don't know what we're going to talk about. There's not much happening in the world.
I think we should acknowledge. We'll acknowledge what's happening, and then is that fair?
That's fair.
But obviously, coronavirus, COVID-19, and
Is it
people are-
COVID-19 or is it covered 19 said with a Boston accent?
I don't know.
COVID.
COVID.
COVID-19.
I've been doing it more with an
guys.
Irish COVID.
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 Have you heard? Have you heard that COVID-19?
Got a case of the COVID.
It's a disease you get from the coronavirus.
If you had a stuck to Guinness, it would have been a non-issue. No, but it's obviously airports are closing and stuff's happening. And when this airs, we don't know where the world's going to be and stuff, but obviously school closures and sports closures and stuff.
Yep.
Just, we're not going to really talk about that any more than this today, I guess, because
you've heard enough. You've
probably heard enough. And we thought in 2 weeks' time when this comes out, maybe you could use a laugh instead. So we'll just this is us acknowledging it. Yes.
Yep.
We're somehow not quarantined and we're all together.
Find something other than toilet paper to wipe your tears.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this map in Cameron's room, and I'm thinking we head to Antarctica.
You know what?
Oh,
though?
because his map's falling down over there?
Well, no, not just that. That was the only
Safest place to be.
Safest place to be.
True.
Antarctica.
Yeah.
Nothing could survive there except for us. Just bring all
Now-
our toenails along and build a cabin in the snow.
You know, when that was on the first episode, I didn't imagine we'd be talking about the toenails 7 episodes in. Now,
Somewhat fascinated by toenails. I have a collection in my drawer at home.
wow.
Okay.
I've had them since I was a child.
And you were worried about me driving you through a warehouse or industrial park.
Yeah, it's kind of relative.
This seems far more normal than that.
Oh, yeah. This seems more normal. Okay.
Yeah.
Along with my random assortment of other people's hair.
Well, that's fair.
Wow.
But you just got to look on your
Perfectly
bathroom
normal.
floor at home for that.
Who doesn't, right?
But now, it's Antarctica, right?
Antarctica.
Is that a continent?
Yes.
Or
Yes.
is it an ice wall that surrounds
It's
the
not-
disc?
Oh,
Listen, it is not Game of Thrones. It is not the wall.
That poster looked pretty flat to me.
and they don't even believe it ends there, right? The idea is that it goes beyond that.
Oh, really? I haven't
Yeah.
heard this theory.
That it goes beyond that, and any aliens or others or anybody else that's coming over aren't really aliens. It's more they're just in the know and they live beyond the.
Really?
Yeah.
So is the universe flat?
It's like the Truman Show.
Well, it would be that there is no universe. It's.
Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh. You people can't see. I'm rolling my eyes pretty hard.
Yeah, it's
I'm
kind of
not.
hard.
I want to know more.
I listened to a podcast about it out of pure curiosity.
Yeah, well,
And
there's
like-
a...
I'll tell you the difference is everything that he said, he was scientifically correct, the guy I was listening to. But everything he said also did not disprove everything I've been told my whole life.
Right.
So it's like, okay, yeah, no, you're right. Technically on paper, the sun could work like that. But you've done nothing to prove to me that it doesn't work the way I've always been taught and that
Yep.
what I'm seeing isn't true. Like there was no...
I find that the theory really falls apart when it's like all of the other planets are spheres and they're like, well, yeah, but this one isn't. You know what I
No.
mean? Like,
Well, they don't believe that the other planets are there.
oh,
wow.
is that what it is?
I know.
They're just projected on the screen that lays
From the-
above us.
Yeah.
By the gov firm.
Yeah, oh, this is...
Wow.
But they have
No
an
one's
answer.
that organized.
What
No
scares
one.
me is they have an answer for everything.
Always.
And you can't prove that answer wrong, but the equivalent of not being able to prove that answer wrong is like me saying, boys,
Yeah.
I can fly.
Yeah.
I have the gift of flight,
Yeah.
but I can only do it when nobody's looking.
Yeah.
Prove me wrong,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
right? I can only do it when nobody's looking.
That's the the whole
Convenience.
system.
That's the convenience of a conspiracy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched a documentary on a guy there. They kind of followed him around. He was like a normal member of the Flat Earth Society. I won't even make the joke about normal member of the Flat Earth Society, but and yeah, like I feel like it's kind of like a club where you just kind of couple people get together and they just enjoy each other's company and they're like, oh yeah. We
There's
also think the
some
world's
of them
flat.
that like, I don't want to mess up his name. I want to say his name's like David Welsh but like he's super knowledgeable and he's smart and he has like a very scientific answer for it, everything. And I was impressed. But like I said, it almost becomes you're doing nothing though to prove to me that our current train of thought is incorrect though. You're
Yeah,
coming
right.
up with all these theories that technically on paper would work, right? Time zone series and the way the sun really goes and all this stuff. But like you're not doing anything for me to prove to me that the other ways
Right.
are wrong.
Well,
Yep.
isn't that a big thing too? Is to not acknowledge the other side. If you don't acknowledge it, you don't have to. You don't have to
Well,
defend
it's like
yourself against it. You don't have to
Confirmation
prove it.
bias.
Right.
And maybe you watch, we'll get some hate mail or something that we're wrong and be like,
I
oh no,
hope
they've
so.
done some stuff. Me too.
Oh,
I
wish
would
we'd get
love
some
to
hate
get hate
mail. It'd
mail.
be fantastic. Oh,
So-
we should do mean tweets. Oh, tear the show apart. Go on Twitter. Sorry, I could totally, completely derail.
In related news, though, the guy who was determined to prove that the Earth was flat, that built his own rocket, died.
He
eh?
died. I was gonna say
His rocket crash landed. Yeah.
that was
His
like a couple
homemade
weeks ago.
rocket that he fired in the backyard. You people can't see because we're talking about the death of somebody, but Cameron is barely holding it together here. He's really struggling, so I'm going to out him. He is just barely holding on, not laughing.
So let me get this straight: a guy who said the world was flat builds a rocket in his backyard to prove what? That when he goes straight up,
He's gonna see a flat Earth.
gonna
Yeah,
see
like
a
they're
flat
talking
Earth.
about horizon lines, yes.
He's gonna take a picture of the Earth without the fisheye lens, the much
So
maligned fisheye lens that every picture of the planet's been taken with to see that it's round, right?
and then he crashed.
Yeah, I didn't read the
Yeah, he
details. I
crashed.
just
I think it's on us to take up the cause now.
yeah. Well, listen,
Okay.
people are already listening to this podcast to get information about, this pandemic that's going on. They're turning to us for answers, for information, for a feeling of safety and security. We are the authority on providing opinions on these things, right?
I've got one for you.
Yes,
Yes.
that.
Yes.
And I'm not saying I love a good conspiracy, but I don't know how many I actually believe in, right?
Yeah.
I just love them.
Bigfoot.
That's not a conspiracy. What conspiracy? Okay, so
JFK.
one of the very first full-fledged photos of Earth, right?
Sure.
Just humor me on this one. And
Wouldn't it have been by the Russians?
I would love someone to explain this away. No, so I'm talking
Cameron wants to credit everything to the Russians.
Neil and Buzz. Neil and Buzz are on the moon, right?
Buzz Lightyear.
And they take that. What a better last name that would have been for it.
Right?
They take that famous picture of Earth
Yep.
from the moon.
Yep.
When they took that picture, where were they on the moon?
On the moon.
The sea.
Well, I established that when I said where were they on the moon. Were they not in the Sea of
I was
Tranquility?
just going to say, I talked about this last episode,
Yes.
the Sea of Tranquility.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you're walking around in the Sea of Tranquility, where's Earth to you?
Up.
Okay, but that picture they took of Earth has the horizon of the moon in it. So they didn't put the camera and face up and take a picture of the Earth.
Right.
They took it. Oh, I get where you're saying. Okay, yeah.
So that famous picture has the horizon of the moon on the bottom, and there's Earth. But they weren't off to the side of the moon. They were in the Sea of Tranquility.
Yeah, they should have been facing it.
Oh, here we go. Now he's going to say the moon landing didn't happen.
Well, I don't know, but that's
All
the
right.
one.
I'm not saying it didn't happen.
Okay, all right, I'm on board. Flat Earth, man, has to be. You convinced me. I'm in.
I'm not trying to convince anybody of flat Earth.
Wow.
Don't put
No,
me in
but
that
it's-
category.
It makes you like I like those debates.
It didn't sway me one way or the other, but it was a head scratcher.
Yep. Yeah.
Like, just kind of made me go, huh?
I guess like when you get into this stuff, you have to be careful to not sound like you're a person that has all the answers. I mean, you can use your logic to some degree, but even though I can't explain that, I have 100% faith that a normal person that could explain that in some way, and I'd be like, oh, that's what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I
So
mean?
if someone wants to explain it to us, that'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be great.
'Cause
Angrily,
I
please.
just, yeah, sure, angrily. The angrier, the better. Because I'm acknowledging, I just don't know. A couple weeks ago, I was talking to somebody. They had that picture on the screen, and it was the first time in my life I looked at it differently and went, huh.
Yeah.
Because that just never crossed my mind, right? That you would actually, I mean, people can't see me, right? But if you would have to look up to do that, right?
Yeah.
Like, we're on Earth. I could photograph the moon here
Yeah.
Yeah.
and try to zoom in, and I don't get a horizon line of the Earth when I take a picture of the moon, but they did. They got a
Right.
horizon line of the moon.
But is that also because the moon is so devoid of anything? Here we have stuff in the way.
No.
Trees, water.
No,
Well, I think maybe
it would
like
actually
the-
be easier to not get a horizon line.
yeah. I'm gonna say some words that I don't know. I have no reason to be saying, but like I know with the atmosphere on Earth, the light can be refracted.
Yes.
So it appears to be bent, or it's not. It's deceiving.
Objects
where
in
it
this
is.
mirror are closer than they appear.
Right. Yeah. If our car mirrors have taught us anything, it's that the moon landing was real.
Yeah. No, it's just a weird one.
Maybe
'Cause, like-
maybe they're both right, and it's like a tennis ball. When you step on it, it's flat.
Oh,
When
my
you take your foot off of it, it's round again.
But then it gets that big crack in it, and I don't know.
So
what
when the Earth is spinning, when it's spinning out to the end, it would be like, whoa, I'm getting flat
Yeah.
and tight. And then when it comes back to the middle, it's like,
Wow.
oh, I'm getting big around. Oh, I get flat.
No, but I said this more. If we went outside today, because the moon's out today,
I
right?
like how the Earth is
During the day.
Oh, now I'm flat. Oh, now I'm round.
If me and Cameron went out right now, even with the telescope to take a picture, we have to face that telescope up.
Yes.
Yes.
We don't face it to the side. We face it up.
Yep.
Correct.
But they were on the moon and they didn't look up.
They looked straight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how?
But maybe there's maybe there's a completely logical explanation for that, and we're just stupid.
Yeah.
Or maybe they didn't land on the moon where I thought they did this whole time, and I'm just an idiot. Like honestly, I don't know.
maybe.
It's not like I'm an expert on the moon landing, so I'm.
Because the moon doesn't orbit. It's in a. I don't know what the term for it is, but it doesn't. That's why we always see the same.
It
side
doesn't
of it.
spin. Yeah.
It has a dark side, obviously, and then and then it. Sorry, spin. Thank you.
Yeah. It doesn't.
Yes. Thank
It's rotating the Earth, but it doesn't spin while it rotates like the Earth does. Yeah. It doesn't
Right.
spin on an axis. Yeah.
you. Wow. This is.
No, but
wild.
I honestly
I'm
don't
trying to
know.
explain
I just
this.
thought I just looked at it and went, huh, that's
Yeah, I love that.
weird.
I like getting I like questioning, some of that stuff.
You just like to fight. What are you talking about?
Me?
Argue.
Who doesn't
yes.
like a good?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
why, like, I'm
That's
hoping
me.
if someone messages us to correct us,
yeah.
be as angry with us
That'd
as
be great.
possible.
Yeah, that'd be
Clean
fantastic.
but angry. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you not know where they landed on them? That's common knowledge. Everybody knows. Yeah.
This podcast has such a low listenership that if you called in angrily, we'd probably just bring you on the podcast.
This is absolutely true.
We got one. We got one.
Come on. We'll pay you.
We'll pay you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Are you hungry, Cam?
I'm always hungry. I'm fat.
Okay. Gary, are you hungry?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I wonder where we could eat, boys. Where should we go to eat after this? Where do you think, Tyson?
I'm still laughing at Cameron because that's not where I thought he was going with that at all. I'm thinking we could get some Kingsway.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Kingsway Restaurant, Miramichi. Breakfast all day, every day.
Oh, my gosh.
I know.
I love,
So I
I
can-
love breakfast all day, every day.
Oh,
Because you can have breakfast and supper at the same time,
yep.
right?
Bacon, sausage, ham. Oh,
Yep.
The pan fries are good.
oh, the pan fries are excellent.
Oh, boys.
And I'll tell you what what I never hear people talk about with that place is, like, and it's probably my favorite in town, is the burgers.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
something about
Never had a burger there.
I think
Oh.
I've only ever had fish and chips.
Yeah, that's what I was going for.
bacon cheeseburger from Kingsway. You know, heaven forbid, actual bacon.
Right?
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Do
yeah.
you know you go to a fast food spot and you order bacon
Yes.
and you're like, what thin Bristol board
Yeah,
is
did
this
they- I
that
know,
you
right?
slapped on my burger?
What
that
did
you
they
charged-
scrape off the underneath of the table that this burger was
No.
prepared?
Actual pieces, multiple
Yeah.
pieces of bacon on your burger. But every Friday, specials fish and chips. Like you guys said, every Wednesday, corned beef and cabbage special.
What's the
And-
special Saturday? Just asking for a friend. I don't think they do specials on.
I don't think they do specials on Saturdays, but seafood chowder wouldn't go amiss either.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh. So hungry.
I just informed Cameron like information I could have used yesterday. Yeah, homemade seafood chowder every day. Oh, it's good.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
And great service. Everybody's so friendly there. Love it.
Yep. Kingsway Restaurant. Check them out on Facebook and Instagram. Go give them a like, give them a follow. Thank them for us. So, Gary, you hurt your back?
Yeah, it's the second time this year now that I've done it.
Oh,
The first time I don't know what I did. This time I was holding my son, carrying him, and I felt it as soon as it happened because it just shot right from my back down to my foot instantly.
Man. Were you that guy in the commercial? Like,
Yeah.
at the back, one
It was
hand on the
like
back.
The rest of the day, it's like anytime I had to try to straighten out or anything, it was like an old man walking around with a walker.
Go to the bathroom.
But I found I think it's a muscle thing. So I found some stretches I can do to stretch out the muscles. So I did them throughout the day. And it was okay the next day. But then the pain wasn't in my back, but then my legs started getting sore and my foot's all like tingly.
Yeah.
Jeez.
That's not a good sign.
Yeah. So that's
Need
where
to-
I'm at now.
See, that's like
Do you want me to walk on your back or
My
anything?
calf kind of feels like it's a guitar string. It's all tightened up.
Holy cow.
My foot's tingly.
there's nothing worse than when you do that and you just
And you did nothing? You were just trying to live your life in your house?
well,
Yeah.
that's the thing. When I blew my back out last year, like it was like I reached into the dryer and I have one of those stand-up dryers and I stood up with a handful of stuff and it just felt like someone took a hot poker
Yep.
and shoved it into my spine and was twisting it. And I hit the floor and I thought, oh, that's not good. I'll be fine. Tried to get up. Every time I get up, it was just like a shock right from the bottom of my spine right to my toes every time. And I was like, okay. So here I am like 90 degrees hobbling around the house. I'm like, all right, you know what? I'll be fine. I just need to get to the shower, put a whole bunch of heat on it, and it should loosen up. Anyway, I did that. It did nothing. So then I go to my wife. I wake her up. I say, you need to help me. She goes, well, what are you doing? What did you do? I said, I hurt my back. She goes, okay. She goes, what are you doing? I said, I need you to help me put my socks on. I can't put my socks on. She goes, where do you think you're going? I said, I have to go to work. And she's like, you can't put your own socks on. She goes, what are the chances are you're going to be able to sit in a car, push the pedals? I'm like, I don't know. And for the next like 24 hours, I sat on a bed flat with a heating pad under my back, trying to loosen my back up. But every time I went to turn to the left or the right to reposition, it's like, it was like just
Screaming pain.
yeah, it was just screaming pain. Like, just, oh, there's nothing worse. When you
Man.
think in your head, you're like, okay, I've been here 2 hours. I'm not moving, so I'm sure I'm fine. The second you go to sit up, it's like, there it is again.
Jeez. Wow. I guess we should do like Maritime Noon and have a chiropractor on here to talk to you guys and take calls. And,
Well, Jeremy knows. So Jeremy one night had to
boy.
carry me to the car, basically.
yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
a good thing I was about 30 pounds lighter because right? But no, I was just picking Mikhail out of the high chair.
Carried him across the threshold.
Yes. When we got married.
Borderline.
Again.
No, but it was the doctor I had that night was great, but I got to be real careful not to. Anyway, I don't want to be critical of anything, but so Jeremy takes me to the hospital because there's no way I was driving, and I was in agony, and all I did was, and I had hurt my back before and never really got any answers, but it kind of went away and healed on its own. And then this one night, almost a year later, I picked the baby up out of the high chair, and I'm frozen right there, as in yelling for someone to come grab the baby. Jeremy takes me to the hospital where we sit for quite a while, and I'm pretty uncomfortable. And when I go out back, the doctor came in, and he actually seemed kind of annoyed that I didn't get in earlier because he took one look at me, saw my back, and said, "Oh,
And
he's
said
having."
coronavirus.
But he said, "Oh, he's having muscle spasms,"
You're like,
Yeah.
really? I know.
and like get out of town, right?
yeah, go ahead.
But in other words, he was just saying like he was acknowledging I must be awfully uncomfortable, and they left me out there. So he gave me a needle. 5 minutes later, it all stopped.
Yeah.
And I went home, but I hadn't had any real, other than a sore back, the occasion time, any problems again until this year. So I was getting ready to go to California for a thing, and my back started flaring up again, and I just had this moment of, I'm 6'5".
Yeah.
I cannot sit on this plane
Yeah.
for 6 to 8 hours with my back like this. So I went to see a chiropractor and told him how uncomfortable I was, and I could only lay on one side. And like Gary just described, my legs go tingly, and then they're not tingly, and then like something's just not. So he brought up all my old files, and he said, it was actually, and all the numbers made sense because it's like the same age that Mikhail is, and I was having flashbacks of Jeremy taking me to the hospital. And he said, you went to the hospital quite a long time ago for your back. And I said, yeah, I was there a couple times in 1 year, and then it hasn't really. He said, you broke your back.
Yeah.
That's kind of like, well, okay, what? Because even that night I was there with Jeremy, they didn't send me for x-rays. They didn't send me for anything. He said, it's muscle spasms.
Broke your back?
And he gave me a needle, and sure enough, it went away. But he flipped the screen around and showed me the x-ray. And I have one vertebrae that looks nice black and gray on the x-ray. It's shaped like a wedge, not like a square anymore. And it just, at some point, I fell. I'm assuming with you guys. And,
Maybe
I knew that was coming.
yeah.
wait, maybe it was a
No
2x4.
pointing fingers.
No.
No
And
pointing fingers, Jeremy.
Yeah, no. So at that point, because there was one time I remember where I like we had a couple different occasions where like we've had some hard hits, right? And there was one night where I was sore after we wrestled and stuff for a couple days, like abnormally sore, but it went away.
Well, I had a responsibility to bring you to the hospital, being responsible, one, for cracking a 2x4 across your back at full strength.
Do you remember that?
That's on video.
So did you guys cut that ahead of time, or I didn't know it broke? I didn't know it was. What do you mean cut what ahead of time?
So this is BLW and getting completely caught up in the moment and not really thinking about what I was doing. I took a 2x4 and hit Tyson as hard as I could in the back.
Does.
As you do. As you do.
Whatever, Clifford, relax.
And I just, and you could see on the video, I could just pause. And I'm like, what? Oh,
Okay, we
oh,
joke
no.
about it breaking because it broke, but there had to be a crack or a knot there
Yeah,
or something like that.
because
There's no
it's
way.
a 2x4.
It's a 2x4.
I couldn't break it hitting anything else.
But I just felt the smuck and dropped.
Yeah.
And laid there for a bit. And then afterwards, people are asking us, like, did you guys cut that ahead of time? And that was my first acknowledgement of it broke.
Yeah. So, yeah. So that's one. And also the other time, this is also BLW, when I decided to give you a bulldog
Oh,
Yeah.
and separated your shoulder. That was also me.
dislocation.
What a fluke thing that was.
Yeah, that was.
So I just kind of have this thing where it's like, I feel like if he called me tomorrow and he's like, man, I got to go to the hospital, I'd be like, all right, I'll be there in an hour, 20 minutes.
I don't know. I think I kind of honestly think Gary should be in that boat too, because you know when you mess someone's
Gary
deviated septum.
Yeah,
it's kind
Gary
of a-
broke my nose.
Broke. Tweaked.
Deviated.
Modified.
that was a funny. The poor doctor. So
Diverged.
I had tonsillitis for like the third time in like 6 months, and pretty painful, strep throat and tonsillitis and stuff. So the doctor, ear, nose, and throat specialist, basically says to me, he's like, all right, at this point, we're done. I'd like to just take out your tonsils. Right?
Yeah.
And so he checks everything. He checks your eye, like your ears, your nose,
and
and everything. Yeah,
Right.
ear, nose, and throat. That's,
You know, side note, they kind of got, you know, they sort of drew the short straw. with
they
that.
got a lot going on,
You
don't
got
they?
all these, well, you have like,
Really,
You have, like-
proctologist.
Yeah.
chiropractor,
Podiatrist.
you know, like all these cool names. Ear, nose, and throat.
There's not even
Like,
a fancy.
they don't
Yeah.
even have a name for that. They just
Ear, nose,
list
and
the
throat.
things that they look at.
Yeah, but I'm in his office, and I remember even playing his day, sitting in his chair, and he says, so when did you break your nose? And I said, I didn't break my nose.
At that
And
moment,
he said, yeah, no,
Gary.
you broke your nose. I said it out loud, Cameron. And then he rewords it. So this obviously isn't this doctor's first rodeo, right? And he says, tell me this, you snore. And I said, well, yeah, I do now, I guess. And he said, when did that start? And I said, well, my wife said 4 or 5 months ago. And without him saying another word, I just had this realization of, Gary. Yeah, my nose was broke, so he fixed my nose when he took out my tonsils, got it all done in one shot.
we also have a picture
Oh, man.
of before. Gary had a trash can lid from an actual trash can, metal one.
Yeah,
You
we'll
can
have to
see
share
it-
that one.
You can see it's nice and flat. And then Gary decides to throw it under his knees, jumps up in the air, and lands on Tyson's face. In the next picture, you see the half moon of the lid.
We'll share that picture. What you were seeing in that picture is 0.02 of a second before my nose breaks.
And then about a minute and a half after.
I like how this went from hey, Gary, your back sore to all the ways we've injured each other.
There's seriously, like, there's nothing worse than a back. Like, you think, backache here and there. But when you have it consistently every other day, you're kind of like, this really sucks. Like, you know, in the morning when you get up, you're like, all right, I'm going to do this, 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 and this. And you're like, well, today my back feels like this, and I know if I do this, I'm going to be down. So you just gotta.
And there's a difference too. I told Amanda once, because like I've heard almost everything, but I had surgery on my knee before too. And like, but I'm telling you, like my knee's been out, but I can put my leg up and get somewhat comfortable. But like when it's your back,
No.
like you're switching sides. Do I lay flat? Do I sit up? Can you move that pillow? Can you bring me the magic bag? I can't, you cannot, there's just no.
Yeah, there's no relief.
No escape.
There's no escape from it.
And
Yeah.
if you do get that relief, you don't move.
Yeah,
And then
do
when
not
you do move,
Yeah, you pay for it.
Yeah, you're done.
Wow. Yep. That's how old we are now, right?
That
All
is,
these
I was
stories
thinking
about-
that. I was thinking that the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had to 2 or 3 times a day now do a little bit of yoga.
Really?
Stretch it all out.
A little bit of DDPY action going on.
Do you want to do some now?
Nothing that manly.
Does it work? Does it help though?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Time. Big
Oh,
time.
Gary actually has a headset on. He's doing it right now. He's got his mat rolled out, and he's in the process of doing it right now.
Oh, I thought he was doing his butt clenches or something right there. The look of his face.
DDPY, not a sponsor.
Unfortunately.
But can
Unfortunately.
be. Always open for a possibility.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yikes.
Well, we're kind of all thrown off now because of the recess.
Yeah,
just
we can
had.
tell them what happened. I guess.
Might as
so
well, yeah.
In the middle of Tyson's story, his and Cameron's mics dropped.
Well, it's the
And,
Russians.
Yeah, the Russians.
They invaded.
They invaded. Putin come in on the shirtless on his horse and took
Yeah.
them out.
With a roll of Sherman around his
Yeah.
waist.
So we just had a quick pause where we tore apart the
Equipment.
yeah. I was like, how am I going to say this with people being like, I don't know or care what he's talking about.
Equipment.
So we tore it apart and we fixed it. Now here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Apparently Jeremy said that's this moment. He went to school for this moment and this moment.
I did.
only.
I didn't know why at the time, but I said there's going to be something I have to fix someday.
It's what you call performing under pressure.
That's right.
3 of us sitting around watching.
There's nothing worse than when you're trying to do something, people hovering over just watching it. Even if they're not saying anything and they're kind of keeping the conversation, in the back of your mind, you're like, would you guys just stop talking and go away?
Yeah.
Well, can I tell you who wouldn't have let something like that happen?
Who?
Movement Media.
Right. Because they're on the ball.
I stole Gary's segue. He always does the segues.
Tell us more, Tyson.
Honestly, though, Movement Media is a company kind of started by an old buddy of ours based at Fredericton, New Brunswick.
Good place.
They can help you with almost any of your needs in photography, videography, aerial shots, audio, graphic design, help you with your website, build you a website, social media, search engine optimization for your business, wedding photography, videography, packages for that.
Cameron, you seem
They
intrigued.
do a lot.
I very much am.
Yeah, no, they offer like the complete package deal for your business. Because I view it as, and I look at how busy we even get with this, and this was just kind of a side thing that we decided to start. A lot of entrepreneurs and stuff, especially small and medium sized businesses, are busy enough already with their actual business. So it'd be nice to have someone come aboard that not only can help you do all of that stuff and make a name for yourself, but to be really good at it too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And know what they're doing. And that's Movement Media. They do everything.
Yeah, they're good with the drone stuff too, eh?
Oh, they're great. Yeah.
That's
Fully licensed. And their prices are super competitive and easy. And what I like about them is, and people will know what I mean, but some companies have gotten so big that their price is their price. And if you can't pay it, they're not really going to work with you, because that's what their demand is. But not Movement Media. They like, what's your budget? They will try to work with you. This is what we can do with that. You know what I mean?
no
We'll work with
repo
you.
man at 12:30 a.m. coming to break your knees.
No, not pulling your stuff down and
Wow.
not treating you. Yeah.
Jeez, I love that.
They know how hard it is to be an upstart themselves. So they will help you with your stuff to meet you where you're at, work with your budget, and get you started.
That's what I would need because I don't know what I'm doing.
No,
That's why they're here to help.
that's why they're here.
So a quick story that's going to make that seem, much less professional. But so the guy that started that, he's a good buddy of mine. He was, actually, of most of us, everyone here knows him. Nate Ecker. He was my roommate when I was going to school to learn how to hook up equipment like this in Fredericton in 2005 to about 2007. And so we were roommates there for a couple of years. And he's really made a name for himself in Fredericton, and he's done really well for himself. And pretty cool that he's a sponsor for this podcast. But so we roomed together. I was 18 and he was 20, I think. And I think the first week we were in Fredericton, we're both taking this audio engineering course in Fredericton. And first time we left Miramichi, right? So we're like, we're just out in the real world. And we don't have a car. So we have to take the bus everywhere. So I think it was like the first Saturday. It's like, let's go see a movie. Okay. So we figure out bus schedule, whatever. And we get over. So we're on the north side and theater's on the south side. So you got to go all the way across town. We go to see this movie, taking the bus. I don't even remember what it was, but it started at like 9:30 or 10. So the movie gets over at like midnight.
Oh.
And we come out of the theater. We're like, oh well, time to go home. And then it's like, oh, the
Bus has stopped.
The bus has come off the road about 2 hours ago. So we're on the other side of town with no car, no one to call because we just moved there, didn't really know anybody.
No jacket.
Yeah, it's cold.
You were at the Regent Street Mall then.
Yes, that's right. So we walked from there all the way to where Frank's Finer Diner used to be.
Holy giants.
Yeah. So we just walked home.
So just to let people know how far that probably is, that's probably from top of Regent down to the bottom of the river alone is probably what, Gary? About
few kilometers.
Like 5, 6, at least 8 kilometers from the top of the hill to the bottom.
Then you cross the bridge,
which is great in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Wow.
I just remember that bridge used to be covered in spiders. It was just gross. I don't know.
Really?
Side note. Yeah. Well, we walked on that bridge a lot. Anyway, so yeah, we walked home. I forget what time we got home. Took us a couple hours to walk home. And that was how we started our lives together in the big city of Fredericton from Miramichi, not knowing anything we were doing.
Have a 3 or 4 hour walk, have a big say.
So I can say that Nate's come a long way since then. That was about 15 years ago now.
But they're doing really well. They sponsorship aside, they do really good work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm very impressed. They do really good work.
Yeah. I see what's going on Facebook there, and they're he's pretty ambitious, working on some cool stuff. So
yeah, so you folks, go check them out. Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. Give them a like for us, and reasonably priced. We'll work with you. Check them out.
I just like doing it. Sorry.
Gary, want to pick a card?
Card. I forgot about cards. I was like, what are we going to do now?
Play Uno.
We're professionals, Jeremy.
That's right.
Here's one. What household disaster happened to you? Had any household disasters?
Yes.
Which one's your favorite?
Yeah.
We had flood. Yeah, that was not fun.
Which place was this?
This was my mother-in-law's house, actually.
Yeah.
We got up and we went to the basement, and there was about 3.5 inches of water time. So we couldn't figure out where it was coming from. And what we didn't realize was
you left your bubble bath going.
I did.
Candles lit and everything.
Hey, listen, bath bombs are amazing.
Wow.
They effervesce.
You said that word so fast.
Yeah, he was right there with that. Yeah.
Gary's a bath connoisseur, you can tell. Gary's all about the Epsom salts because of his bad back.
So you did bath salts, and then you get in the tub, and then what happened?
Yeah, no, we what we didn't realize was out by the road, the drain tile around the house,
Was full.
it froze at the road. So what we didn't realize was that that's where it was coming from. We thought it might have been like a pipe, something around the pipe. And what we didn't realize was, and what we were told later was, if you hadn't have unplugged it at the road, because the water was sitting underneath the house,
Yeah.
the pressure would have eventually
Drove it in.
blown a hole in the floor. Which happened at my parents' house, and I did not believe it until I asked my father, is that true? And then my father said, yes. He said, go look in the corner of our basement. I'm like, yeah. He goes, see that hole? I'm like, yeah. He goes, that's what'll happen. It blew a 2x2 piece of floor up out of Dad's basement and up to the ceiling. It blew it out because of the pressure. So yeah, other than that, flood, and we didn't, until we figured out what it was up at the road, we were, getting up every 2 hours and taking shop vacs, and
it's a nightmare.
Yeah, it
to
was.
deal with.
Yeah,
My favorite
Sump?
house-
Did you have a sump?
no,
Oh boy.
because they had never had anything like that. Now where I'm from, my mother and father, their basement flood like when I was a kid. Because there was a swamp in the backyard, it always happened. There was always water, so Dad got it all rigged up that as soon as water comes in,
It just starts
pumping it out.
Yeah.
But they had never had water ever before.
Yeah.
No, for you, that's not where my mind went at all.
What do you mean?
Well, I guess what I came to my mind wasn't really a household disaster as much as, didn't you go stick your head in a doghouse and get a surprise?
That's not technically a disaster.
I think it's pretty disastrous.
All right. So, thanks, Tyson. Of course. So this is what happened. So again, we were at my in-laws, and we were looking after my aunt's dog. He was about 130-pound Alaskan Husky, and he had this dog house my dad built. Now, my dad is kind of known to go a little overkill. So he built this doghouse that was big enough for two people to get in and sit up in it.
Of course.
Yeah, of course. Overkill.
Why not?
So anyway, we had the dog out, and we normally let him kind of like roam around to the garage because it was kind of warm. It was summer, and then we kind of hook him over to let him go over toward his doghouse. Well, the dog did not want to go to the doghouse. I was like, well, that's weird. So my wife says, well, you might as well go get his food. We'll just leave him in the garage because he wanted to be there. And they couldn't figure out why he wouldn't go anywhere near it. So me, being me, said, I'll just go grab the bowl. So anyway, I walk over, and the hole in the front of this doghouse was probably like 3x3. It was huge.
Like a garage.
It was almost like a
dog
mini
garage.
You should have seen it. It was massive. So anyway, I said, all right. So I reached in to get the dog food because we put the dog dish inside so it wouldn't get any rain on it. And then I heard something. And when I looked up, all of a sudden something hit me in the face. And I heard this weird hissing sound. I was like, what is that? I was like, what? All of a sudden I'm like, why is there liquid on my face? I'm like, why is this liquid burning? Well,
liquid on my face?
just happened to be, there was a skunk in the doghouse.
Podcast title.
There was a skunk in the doghouse, and it sprayed me right in my face, about a foot from my face.
Point blank range.
Point blank.
man.
So I'm like, that burns. Oh, that smells. Oh, that burns. So anyway, I start coughing, and like, meanwhile, I turn to look at my wife and the dog, and they're both sitting over by the garage.
And she's
like,
debating leaving you.
well, definitely was. So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, it's burning. Like, it's not nice. So anyway, I'm like, get me some water. So I started running the hose, trying to wash my face off and trying to wash my mouth out, like, because it went right, like, it was everywhere. It was terrible.
Oh my gosh.
So
I
anyway,
can't imagine.
I'm sitting there, and when my father-in-law comes in, and he goes, what was that? And my wife goes, it was the most horrible sound I ever heard. It's like a hissing sound. He goes, and of course, he's trying to be helpful, but like anybody else would be like, you just got sprayed in the face by a skunk. That is the funniest thing I have ever heard. So anyway, he's kind of looking. He goes, "I'll go get some tomato paste or tomato whatever, the tomato soup or whatever you're supposed to get.
And you're thinking, what? It's all you can think about is having a snack?
Well, no, I'm thinking I just need to get the smell out of my head. So anyway, I dump this. I take the whole thing and dump it onto my head, and I start washing myself with it.
Oh, wow.
Oh, why can't there be a video of that?
We see that
And
happening.
I'm like, and I'm still coughing and
Look like a scene from Carrie.
that's what it looked like. So then
Was your shirt off by any chance?
I threw it off after that.
I was wondering if the skunk mistook you for a bear or something.
Skunk's like, oh, it's the Canadian sweater.
Canadian sweater.
So my wife goes and gets to her father. She goes, well, what are we going to do next? He goes, well, he's going to have to get in the shower. She goes, well, I don't want the house to smell. And he's like, well, what do you propose he does? So anyway,
Won't let him in the house.
she wasn't going to let me in the house. So anyway, I was wearing I was like, well, I'll go to the shower. So I run down to the shower and I get in and I start trying to wash this off. And it's like, it's still burning. And what I didn't realize was until later is that it's very highly toxic. And it like gave me a chemical burn above my eye and below, like on my cheek. The only reason I didn't get it in my eyes is because I wear glasses. And they figured that's the only thing that really saved my eyesight, because they said if it had gotten my eyes, it would have been 3 times worse.
Oh, really? Like it would have burned your eyes?
It's like kind of like an acidity. Like it burned me. Like it looked like I had a sunburn above my eye and below my eye, like where my glasses were. So anyway, I'm sitting in the shower and I'm like, all right, I don't know if soap is going to handle this. So all of a sudden, I feel something like ridiculously cold being poured over the top of my head. I'm like, what is that? What I didn't realize was
He's back.
The skunk is now dumping a pail of water on your head.
I did not realize because my in-laws had a stand-up shower in the basement.
Pepe Le Pew loves you.
And the top of it was open. My wife went and got a jug of vinegar.
Vinegar?
Didn't really warn me. Just dumped it over the top of my
Did you have goggles
head.
on? Or anything?
No. And here's the worst part. For any guys
The
out
worst
there,
part hasn't happened yet.
for any guys out there, vinegar burns when it hits certain areas. So here I am going, what is that? Why am I getting hit with vinegar? And that's like, oh, now it's burning in a different place.
Oh my
So
god!
I still have the shower on full.
I did not know this.
Yes.
Not helping.
I have the shower on full, and all of a sudden my wife shoves in a bottle of liquid dish soap. So I'm like, okay,
You're like, what game show am I on?
So I'm pouring this on me, right? So I'm trying to get more of it out. All of a sudden, the curtain swings open and a powder hits me in the side of the head. I'm like, what is going on?
Like they're just throwing stuff at you.
Throwing everything in the cupboard.
She had baking soda.
Antiquing them.
Antiquing them.
She had gotten baking soda, opened it up. Now think, I had just put on liquid dish soap. And she throws this baking soda in on top of me. I said it was like one of those old movies you see, like those old jail movies where they're like delousing somebody. They just keep opening the curtain and throwing stuff in.
Oh my gosh!
So, yeah.
Oh,
All right. Well, we're changing his name in the group chat to Salt and Vinegar.
Yeah. Well, all I know is...
Oh, man.
So then I was like, all right, this smell has to eventually go away. So I kept telling my mother-in-law, I was like, listen, like, I can still smell it. She goes, well, you would have probably sucked a lot of it into your nose.
Into your head.
I was like, okay, so what do I do? She goes, well, have you ever used a Neti Pot? I'm like, I've never used a Neti Pot.
Well, you know what? I've had dish soap. I've had vinegar.
Yeah,
I've had
let's
Arm
just-
& Hammer. Why not dump that on me, too?
Well, no, what a Neti Pot does is it's supposed to clean out your sinuses. So it looks like a little teapot. So you stick it in one nostril, you turn your head sideways.
And that's how the basement flooded.
That's a bad evening.
So anyway, I poured it out because she said, well, this will clean your sinuses, anything that's in there. Well, it smelled like the skunk had totally sprayed again when it all came out. So anyway, now the bathroom smells, and I'm like, And my glasses, because they're plastic, it absorbed the smell. So when I put my glasses on, the smell was terrible. So I had to put my glasses in a glass bowl with baking soda, vinegar, trying to get the smell to get pulled out of my glasses. But I couldn't go to work. So here I am saying, how in the world am I going to tell my boss, can't come to work, I kind of smell. So then I
didn't understand. I poured palm olive all over myself.
all over.
Still don't smell great.
No, it may get oil out, but it doesn't get the smell of skunk. So anyway, the next day I sat outside for 5 hours, just standing outside with no glasses on, can't see, sitting in a chair with a dog sitting beside me. He wouldn't even sit close to me, trying to get the smell.
Buck naked, face in the wind.
Dumping dish soap in one hand and vinegar in the other.
So I stayed home the first day. So then the second day I'm like, well, I do have to go back to work, but because again my glasses were so bad, I was like, I'm gonna have to go in
And get new glasses.
and find out what I need to do. Well, in your nose piece for your glasses, there's these little rubber pieces. Well, that's the part that had absorbed all the smell. So I walked into the eye doctor. It's like, yeah, hi, I kind of had a little bit of an issue last night, and you could see her kind of going, looking around like, I can smell skunk.
That smells weird.
And I'm kind of looking at her going, I'm like, all right, listen, I got sprayed in the face last night. It was me. So anyway, she goes, well, what do you need? I was like, I need the rubber things removed. And she goes, okay. So her and another lady went into the back room. Apparently they both had gloves on and they pulled the nose pieces off, and they said that's where the smell was. Yeah. So anyway, I come back out. I'm like, how much do I owe you? The girl just looked at me. She goes, I feel so sorry for you. You just need to go. Yeah. So yeah, I guess that would be considered a disaster. Thanks, Tyson.
Wow.
You have to go back and start this thing all off with a theme song, The Adventures of Canadian Sweater.
You should have your own theme.
This week on The Adventures of the Canadian Sweater.
So Tyson, for the podcast picture, which one of those visuals are you going to make?
There's lots to work with there.
Only me, right? How many people, seriously, how many people have you ever heard of getting sprayed in the face by a skunk?
Just you, buddy.
When you describe putting your head in there, I picture it like a Chevy Chase movie where he sticks his head in and looks up and the smile turns into fear.
Oh, man. I was picturing Home Alone where
Harry sticks his face in.
Harry sticks his head in the doggy door and it's like, hello.
Yeah.
You know what? It would have been less painful to get shot in the forehead with a pellet gun.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, man.
Wow. That's I don't know how to top that disaster.
That's just it.
I don't think you can, boys. Well, Katie's grandfather, they told him, and you had to know her grandfather, Easty. He was he's a real jokester, and he came specifically down because he was at the time, he was probably in his late 70s, early 80s probably, and he had never ever in his life had ever heard of anybody getting sprayed in the face by a skunk. He had to come down to see if it really was true. And normally her grandfather would always make fun of me, but he was actually super, super nice. He just looked at me and all he could do was shake his head and smirk, but he never once really said anything, but you could just see him in his head going, this is amazing.
And that Monday you were front page of the Sunny Corner Gleaner.
The Gleaner. The Sunny Corner Gazette.
Because you hear tell all the time of someone's dog got sprayed or
yes.
maybe someone got sprayed or I can't get the smell off my car because there was one on the road or something. But who gets sprayed right in the face?
I know. That's
like point blank range, 12 inches away.
Yep.
That's it.
Just blasted.
And it burned. It burned like
Wait,
there was no
there's
tomorrow.
liquid on my face.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it was. It was like, what is that water? Is that water? I'm like, why
is there liquid on my face?
Yeah, that's what I'm like, why am I wet? I'm like, why does this stink? Why does this smell? Like your brain is so far behind the times. Now seriously, it's so funny because I have a real bad sense of smell, But I'll tell you this. I can tell you when there's a skunk anywhere now, and it's just like instant rage.
Like his eyes start twitching and
just rage.
Wow.
I love all other animals.
Let's just another card because there's no way you can't top that.
What fashion trend you followed was very cool then, but now looks ridiculous?
Gary, I believe you should answer this
Why?
because he's like the most fat. He's like the fashion king over here wearing fedoras. Yeah, you think no one can wear a fedora. Gary throws one on, you're looking at him, you're like, I hate him because he can wear that.
But I haven't seen him in a fedora in like 15 years. So.
Do you not think he can still not pull it off?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
you say it like he walked in with one, but I haven't seen him in 15 years.
Always have a fedora nearby.
He's got one in his pocket, folds out.
Pop-up fedora.
I actually think I have one in the closet here in the man cave.
I'm going with Zubas. Zubas and fanny packs.
Zubas?
I've actually
You mean those
recently
jogging pants?
Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
They're camo, but they weren't camo because they were bright colors.
I had a pair, and they were San Jose Shark ones, so they were like teal.
They were everywhere.
I have looked these up recently, and they still sell them on Amazon.
Yes, they do. Yes, they
The
do.
Road Warriors were big on them.
Wow.
Maybe that's what we'll sell. Bush League podcast Zubas.
Bring it
Fanny
back.
packs.
Fanny packs.
I used to love those pants that had the zippers around the knees. They turned them into shorts.
What
Love those.
What about the button-up pants? The old pants that used to button up right there.
Track pants?
Yeah,
Tear
track
away.
pants.
That's like Party Boy there made that
Yeah.
made that Chris Pontius made that popular.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm scared to answer that because if you look at pictures of me then and now, not much change. My wife's working hard to fix that. Yep.
Work in progress.
Tough
Work in progress.
case though. Tough case.
Yeah.
Man, I used to wear jeans that were about 24 inches wide on
Yeah.
the legs.
Let's not
Yeah.
forget
The cuffs of them drug on the ground.
Yeah, could
Yeah.
probably fit 5 legs in each pant leg.
Yeah, baggy jeans. That was the thing, right?
Baggy jeans and baggy khakis.
Actually, that picture.
button a fly.
Button fly, yeah.
Button
Actually,
fly.
that picture right there. You can't see it, but I'm pointing to the picture that was on our Facebook page of the four of us where I have the t-shirt on that says all my black t-shirts were dirty.
And it's a white shirt.
Yep. Anyway, there's some baggy jeans going on in that picture, but probably
A lot of black t-shirts.
Gary looks like Jesus in that picture a little bit. Look at him. Perfect beard, the hair,
MXPX t-shirts.
MXPX t-shirt.
White. Like, I just had this moment. Like, you serious?
Wait, why is that funny?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, spoilers.
Yeah.
Jesus wasn't white people. Yeah.
He was a tall, blonde, Californian looking
Surfer.
Yeah,
That
he looked
meme
great,
going on
ripped,
that's-
just jacked.
That guy that was serious, was at his grandmother's house who had all these pictures up on her mirror. And she had a picture of Jesus on her mirror with like a rosary around it and everything, but it was Obi-Wan Kenobi from Star Wars. And she had cut it out and stuck it to her mirror, thought it was Jesus. You're my only hope.
My only hope. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Whew. Wow. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Get another one, Gary?
Awkward pause.
If you could appear on any game show, which would you choose?
Wow.
Ooh.
Cameron would go on like that new Ellen show where they like
Yeah.
Buddy,
What's it called?
everyone gets
Dude.
covered and
dude, it's The Price is Right. If you're
Yeah,
going to
but-
go on one.
well, I'm
that's
just
the one.
saying, well, I don't think you get covered in dish soap and vinegar on The Price is Right, but on
Deal or no deal?
Do you remember that old one we were growing
yeah.
up? Funhouse?
Funhouse.
Funhouse?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's the one where the kids had to run through like a maze. It was like a big house.
Oh,
You
okay.
had to run through doors and through obstacles. It was almost like most elimination MXC. Most extreme elimination
Let's
challenge.
get eliminated.
Vic Romano.
well, if we're going old school, I'd like to be on Video and Arcade Top 10.
Oh Oh, yes.
Nicholas Pickles, is that his real name?
Tarzan Dan.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
I always watch that.
Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?
Oh, that was solid.
That was good.
Any game show? American Gladiator.
There you go. Hey, there you go.
I feel like I'm better suited for Wipeout.
Yeah.
I could probably wear my fedora there.
Gary's gonna have a fedora on in this.
Cameron on top of the ramp, dressed like a skunk.
with the dish soap thing upside down over him.
No costume needed. Just paint a white stripe down his back.
Hey, now. Wow.
Pepe Le Pew there. Oh, but you are so beautiful.
I feel like you were kicking into some Triumph, the insult comic dog there for a second.
Yeah, it wasn't very good, Pepe Le Pew.
That's not.
Oh, good for you. So beautiful. For me, Topopa. Autobots, roll out.
Autobots, transform and roll out. Soundwave was my favorite, though.
Really?
Starscream.
It's his voice, man.
Although that's Decepticon.
It doesn't matter, though. You can have a favorite Autobot and a favorite Decepticon.
But you're supposed to cheer for the Autobots.
Soundwave.
You were all for Megatron.
No. I wasn't a Megatron fan, believe it or not.
Okay.
No. I was more of a...
Believe it or not. I can't believe it.
I was like...
Listeners are shocked.
I liked Ravage. I was a Ravage fan.
Yeah.
I was Soundwave.
Well,
For Decepticons, I was Soundwave.
well, yeah. Now, if it was an Autobot, it's all going to be Prime. It has to be Prime.
I find it interesting how Optimus Prime started out as a Freightliner and then he became a Peterbilt in the movies. Changed, you know?
You know, there's always a truck driver that's got to find something wrong with it, right? But it's true, though. Some of the newer ones, you see some, like, in the movies, they're like, oh, look, Mirage, he's a Pontiac Solstice. It's like, what?
Both of our listeners right now are like, who the heck is Mirage?
He was the Formula One car.
Yeah. All right, Gary, what do you got? I feel like you've been doing some research over there. It's not good. It's not looking good.
Gary's confidence is just overwhelmingly filling us.
Do we want to say what we think the 7 wonders of the world should be?
Oh, that could be definitely a good
What you would do if you had no fear?
good argument. Good argument.
It could be what?
Good argument.
Cameron's very passionate about his wonders of the world.
7 Wonders of the World is my favorite.
What, are they yours?
I wish they were, because I'd have someone to passionately talk about the wonders of the world with.
Number 1 has to be the doghouse with the skunk.
Yep.
I believe they burned that.
Oh, wow.
You think I'm joking, but I'm serious. I think they burned
that
it.
does seem
Well,
like
you
the
would
right
have
decision.
to. Yeah.
Correct
What-
decision.
Yeah, that's the right thing to do.
Yeah. Right decision made.
Yeah. Sure.
I'm trying here, guys. I'm not real passionate about wonders of the world. I'm not gonna lie.
Great Wall of China.
Well, there is that one. That's friggin' awesome.
Cameron's like, that is the hill I will die on. The Great Wall of China must be included in this list, or I'm quitting the show.
I'm out of here. The walled city of Cartagena.
Oh my god.
Who? The what? Where?
The walled city of Cartagena. It's a UNESCO site.
Wow. I never dreamed when we started this podcast there'd be 2 episodes in a row where we talked about UNESCO sites. I never imagined that.
Oh my gosh.
It's awesome.
Surprised Cameron didn't say Hockenheim.
Yeah. Monza.
Monza.
Nürburgring. Yeah.
Spa.
Oh.
Yeah. Franker champs.
Franker champs.
Spa Franker champs.
Take your chance. What?
Oh my gosh. All right.
Stupid McLaren getting infected with COVID-19.
Wrecked your whole season.
Someone's got to ruin it for everybody.
Yeah. Because things were going really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not so much.
Car looks great. Nice papaya color.
That's the way that's the original.
It's the original, yeah.
Well, no, the original one was white. McLaren's first race car was white.
Yeah.
But then he switched over to the papaya. But they only used it
white and red or whatever that.
On a side note for me, Ferrari's undefeated so far this season. So.
Yeah, it's a tight race right now.
Jim Ross, I heard him say once his grandfather always told him that if you're going to win them all, you got to win the first one.
It's classic. Good old JR. My God! He is broken in half!
Austin.
Big Foley is broken completely in half, my God! My God, King! There's a bunch of videos on YouTube where they take sound bites of him, and it's like people slipping and falling down, and he's like, "Go, the carnage!" It's like someone fell on the sidewalk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's it, huh, boys? What do you think?
I don't know. What do you think?
No, I'll say two. Wait.
Say two. Stay safe out there.
Yeah, please stay safe out
there. Don't,
wash your hands.
Yes, wash your hands. Stay inside.
Be prepared. Always have tomato juice at the ready.
The rumor is what Cameron did also cures COVID-19. You dump vinegar and dishwasher soap on your head.
With a little baking soda, some tomato paste.
Cameron is immune.
Cameron is immune.
Was it the tomato juice? Was it the vinegar? Or was it the skunk spray? Tune in next time.
Next week to find out.
No, thanks everyone for listening. And make sure you go thank our sponsors for us. Give Movement Media a like and a follow. Let them know you heard from us. Kingsway, Fish and Chips on Fridays.
Oh, yeah.
Go give them a like and follow wherever you can.
Now.
And thanks for listening, guys.
All of a sudden, I'm like, why is there liquid on my face? I'm like, why is this liquid burning? Well, just happened
liquid on my face?
just happened to be there was a skunk in the doghouse.
Podcast title.
There was a skunk in the doghouse, and it sprayed me right in my face.
You just wasted some of your life listening to the Bush League Podcast. You must stop what you're doing right now. Like and subscribe and leave a 5-star rating. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and like us on Facebook.